Right, guys, so as promised, I have Dave from DQ Central with me today, and we're going to chat about everything cannabis, or dagga, or whatever else you want to call it. So Dave, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Sharon. It's great.
Absolutely awesome. Now, you are what we can refer to as quite a connoisseur in terms of cannabis. Where did this passion start?
Yes. Well, this passion started, look, I know it's highly illegal, but I think I had my first joint when I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah, but after that, left it completely until sort of, matric, and you have a bit here and there and a little bit in the army. But where it really started was I was in the Metro Police in Johannesburg for 7.5 years. And in 96, I had a very bad motorbike accident. I was on the bikes at that stage and hit my head very hard. So went for CAT scans and all that sort of nonsense. And was just getting constant headaches every day, sort of an afternoon headache from about 2 o'clock. I was taking pharmaceuticals, opioids. Yes, no, don't take those.
Yeah, those are bad. Those are very bad.
And I actually went to my doctor and I said, look, I'm starting to get problems with my stomach. It's I think I was getting an ulcer or whatever the term they use for it, but anyway. And she said to me, well, have you smoked dagga for the pain? And I went, well, yes, I used to dabble with it a bit in school and that.
Yes.
But no, not really. So I sort of left it. And I went to another doctor in police uniform, both times. There was a guy this time, and I thought, let me ask his opinion. And I didn't say anything about the cannabis.
Yes.
I just said to him, look, I'm getting these headaches and that. And he says, well, have you smoked weed? And I went, well, funny you said that, because another doctor said that.
Yes.
And that's where it started. And it's your medical benefit for smoking is probably 2 to 3%.
Yes.
But for pain, it is excellent. It's almost an immediate, I wouldn't say immediate, 5 to 10 minutes. And it actually took the headaches away.
Fantastic.
So I've been smoking cannabis for 23 years now.
Okay.
Every single day of my life.
Yes.
I don't have schizophrenia. I haven't lost any brain cells. And I'm not dumb.
No, certainly not. And I think that is a big thing about the whole myth around cannabis
Yes, it is.
Is that it will, obliterate your brain cells, you're going to become schizophrenic.
It's just, they refer to it as the devil's lettuce and but unfortunately this is what people have been led to believe.
Yes.
This has been drummed into everyone's heads since you were this big.
Absolutely.
And it's bad and it's this and it's that. And it's really not. It is a fantastic herb.
Yes.
Plant. There's just so many things that it heals.
Absolutely.
So, obviously I kept it very quiet throughout that period when it was still highly illegal.
Yes.
Thankfully, touch wood, I hadn't been arrested as yet.
Good.
Waiting for the day. I know the law. But what happened was in January 2 years ago, 2017, my wife was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Okay.
Yes. So obviously it was a huge panic, and it was, geez, what do we do now? We had medical aid, and my wife decided to go for the treatment for chemo and radiation. Against my best wishes.
Yes.
But I said to her, it is your choice, it is your life, you know what my feelings are. But cannabis helped her through all of it.
Oh, fantastic.
The nausea, the pain. My wife worked for 6 weeks while on that treatment every single day.
Wow.
She missed one day,
Amazing.
and that was just tests the whole day. So it helped her with everything. And that's when my passion ignited. That's when I went, do you know what? Why the hell am I keeping this quiet? Everyone needs to know about this.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had fantastic people that came and helped us, and they were a phone call away. Fields of Green for All, Jules and Myrtle, the Dagga couple, as they have been dubbed,
Yes.
and another lady, Mauritian Skitter, that ran a dispensary.
Awesome.
And they came, they were there. It was, this is what you do, this is what you use, and it was absolutely amazing. And that inspired me to go, you know what, well, I arranged the 2 High Court protests with the help of a few people in the industry.
Oh, fantastic.
In Pretoria.
Yes.
When the Dagga couple were having their trial and had all those expert witnesses from the UK. And then I also arranged the Constitutional Court one with the help of a lot of people in the industry. And it's just absolutely amazing how the people in the cannabis industry come together. What fantastic people.
Absolutely, yes.
It's, yes, you get your chances. Of course you do. Guys that are in it for a quick buck and that.
Yeah.
But the actual genuine people out there that are there to help and educate, it's fantastic. It is, I get goosebumps when I think about it. It's amazing.
Just a lovely community.
It is.
Yes.
And there's so many things that cannabis can help for medically. I mean, just off the top of my head, I mean, your cancers, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, arthritis. It helps with regulating blood sugar. It helps with high blood pressure, cholesterol. It just helps with everything. Gut health.
Yes.
It's amazing in the different forms that you can get it. It's
absolutely. Now, one of my questions to you would be: you've mentioned quite a few things that it's actually good for, and the thing for me, and I know there's a lot of people out there. There's quite a big movement coming from the ground up that advocates for natural health, and this would obviously fit right into that ambit.
Yes, no, it would. Look, there's now what my wife and I found, and my wife is very into the herbs and all the natural stuff on our farm in Pretoria. Anything that grows on our farm is either edible or medicinal, and it's fully organic. We don't use any pesticides, anything that is not natural.
Brilliant.
You can pretty much sort out any illness with herbs, with what grows in the ground. You don't need pharmaceuticals.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned, and I've had these discussions with many people before, where your pharmaceuticals really care not so much about you as a person, more about the money. Absolutely, absolutely. Where this community is not like that.
No, it's not. The community that are helping, the sort of people that have been in it for a while, they're in it for the good. Yes. They're not in it for... Yes, of course you have to make money. I'm sorry, you can't survive without money.
Absolutely, indeed.
So, and it's, a lot of these people help and give away medicine to people that can't afford it, and that's just, it's so great. It's
just ignite that passion even further.
Absolutely, yes, and it's just, everyone should embrace it. I mean, we go around, this is the company that we run, lovedagga.co.za, fully legal. It's clothing, it's cushions, it's aprons, it's and it's just about educating people.
Absolutely.
Everywhere we go, I call it my uniform.
Yes.
Shopping centres, when we go out off the farm, we wear the uniform.
Brilliant.
And I love it, the reactions you get from people. Some people, and the wife sort of is like half a step behind the husband. She's got a smile on her face. It's just so awesome, and you end up talking to people about it and educating them. People do not know. They don't know the benefits.
Absolutely.
They just think it's bad for you.
Well, that's the thing, because traditionally, and I think we spoke about this off air, traditionally you were taught from a young age it's bad, it's evil.
Yes.
But where did this whole culture of vilifying this herb, where did it actually come from?
I think the proof is in the pudding.
Sorry.
And like I say, when my wife got the cancer, I say to everyone it was a blessing.
Yes.
And you go, what, are you married? Your wife got cancer? No, because it actually taught us what you do. Now, can I just say, cannabis is not a cure-all. Cannabis is not the miracle herb.
Yes.
Yes, it's going to help you, but you've also got to look at lifestyle changes.
Definitely.
So when you get the likes of cancer, some of it might be hereditary, as they say, but...
The judges also are.
Yes, I know. But it's the lifestyle we're living. It's the rubbish we're eating.
Absolutely.
It's all the preservatives. It's these glycophosphates in our food.
Yes.
It's poison.
Absolutely.
And of course the medicines we're taking. Just to give you a little bit of I don't know if you've ever thought about this, and a lot of your viewers are going to go, wow. The water we drink, okay, we drink from a borehole, so we're happy. I don't touch tap water. when you go to the loo, you take vitamins. You take vitamins, do you?
I'm one of those people that don't really subscribe to vitamins.
Okay, so look, when you're sick and you need antibiotics, you'll take that. Or you take vitamins, or you're taking headache tablets.
Yes.
A lot of that gets flushed out of your body. And that goes to these treatment plants, and you can't get it out of the water. You are drinking pretty much everyone's medicine.
That is quite scary.
Now, when I put it into that perspective, I've got you thinking. Eh?
Absolutely, that puts a whole different perspective on this whole thing.
Absolutely, and it's the chemicals that go down the drains. It's everything that's just adding to the water.
That is insane.
That's
pretty scary.
No, it is, and when you start thinking about things like this, unfortunately, we've been brought up like this, like a horse with.
Yes.
You are taught to do this, you wake up in the morning, you do this, you go to work, you come home, or school, or you come home, you eat, you go to bed. And you follow that same routine. You have a weekend break, but yes, you'll still do this, and you'll go to church on a Sunday. And once you start thinking outside the box, you actually open your mind.
Indeed.
There is so much more.
Very, very true.
And I think that's a lot of the push with the younger generation now. It's going back and saying, well, do we actually need all of this? That they're pushing on us.
Yes.
No, we have our own minds.
Very, very true. And we've actually been in a number of discussions, because I think we're all at that age where we have teenagers. And I actually think there's a lot that we can learn from these youngsters.
Yes.
But just touching on modern lifestyle, I have another question for you. We see so many people with stress, with depression, with anxiety. Now, the cannabis, can that be an effective treatment? Obviously in conjunction with changing your mind, changing your lifestyle for that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And we've noticed it with people, because I would make something and give it to somebody just because I can see they have a problem.
Yes.
No monetary value, so because it is illegal, you can't sell cannabis yet.
Yet.
Well, with THC in, you can sell CBD, that's legal, but it's a complete. Oh God, sorry. I lost my train of thought there. You get me so fucking excited when you ask these questions. I just want to go. Oh no.
We'll put those bloopers on YouTube.
Oh jeez. Oh shit.
Okay, so
all right, we
stress, depression, anxiety treatment, cannabis treatment for that.
All right. So yes, cannabis is definitely going to help for stress, for depression, for anxiety, in different forms. But you've got to remember, cannabis isn't for everyone.
Yes.
I've come across a few people that go, oh, I ordered this medicine and they said it was a 20 milligram dosage, but I couldn't see my hands. Unfortunately, you do get people that have a sensitivity to cannabis.
Yes.
So look, I mean, your body's got an endocannabinoid system. Very interesting fact, when you breastfeed from your mother,
yes,
there are cannabinoids in breast milk.
Okay, that is very, very interesting. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and that's sort of where the research is going. We're going back and finding out where everything has come from. Cannabis has been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years. No, it has been used for thousands of years. I don't know how old the earth is, but yes. There's been so much found. And I mean, pharaohs with cannabis in the tombs, and dating back to before Christ and all of that.
Amazing.
But interesting you talk about anxiety and depression. A lot of research lately, psilocybin, magic mushrooms.
Yes.
There's been a lot of research into that. And microdosing with psilocybin is absolutely brilliant. That gets rid of depression, gets rid of anxiety. Look, still very highly illegal, illegal. How you make a plant that grows naturally illegal, I still don't understand.
Yeah, that is something that blows my mind as well. And I mean, I'm a big advocate against certain pharmaceuticals, and we won't go into the details on air. But certainly for me, I would rather go with something natural.
Exactly.
As opposed to putting something in my body that does not grow naturally on Mother Earth.
Yes. And of course it has to be organically grown as well.
Absolutely.
You can't buzz the thing with whatever you think that's going to make it grow bigger and stronger, because that's not what it's about.
Precisely.
Yeah. But and another very important thing that I always say to people is, and I speak to a lot of people, I'm just
Yes.
completely open. Everyone says, why do you always talk about cannabis? Because I love it. It's my passion. It's the most amazing plant on the face of this planet. It really is. Okay, there's a couple of others, but we're talking about cannabis.
Oh, absolutely.
But what I say to people is, if you are buying cannabis from somebody medicine, please, whatever you're doing, make sure you get a test certificate. I've tested cannabis that's been made from bud from certain places.
Yes.
There's cyanide, lead, mercury.
Amazing.
Yes. Because
Wow.
what a very interesting fact is what the cannabis plant does. It actually absorbs, takes toxins out of soil.
Oh my word.
They are using the cannabis plant for nuclear spills.
Oh my word.
Yes.
Okay, that is another thing that I didn't know, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that our viewers out there
Yes.
are also not aware of.
Yeah, and it's very important. You've got to know. I mean, if I get somebody coming to the farm, hey Dave, here's a lacquer joint, let's smoke it. Where did it come from? I don't know. I bought it from my guy. No, thank you. I'll roll you one of mine.
Yes.
And that's just the way. Look, before I never knew this.
Yes. Yes.
Before the whole thing ignited,
Yeah.
and I just went, wow, let's learn. Yeah, so it's very important. Just make sure you are buying from somebody reputable
Okay.
that has a test certificate
Yes.
and that answers your questions. They've got to tell you what the dosages are.
Yes.
I mean, you can't say, here's your Canacan,
Yeah.
take one a night. What is it?
Precisely.
It's a 30 milligram dosage. Ah, okay, now I know. It's so interesting. My head's just going, what do I talk about next? I love it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I've got another question for you.
Yes.
Smoking versus dabbing versus edibles. Can you just clear all of that up for the dummies out there like me?
Okay, all right. Look, as in medicinal or recreational?
Let's touch on medicinal first, and then we'll talk about recreational.
Yes, like I said to you, medicinal. You're smoking 2 to 3%. That's sort of the averages that they give. And I must tell you, all cannabis use is medicinal. And just to sort of highlight on that, if you have a stressful day at work, you
Yes.
go home, you have a glass of wine to unwind. Nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
I go home to unwind, I have a joint.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's medicinal.
Absolutely.
So, strictly speaking, you're doing it to treat your body. But when it comes to edibles, so smoking is going to take about 5 minutes, really good strains, 4 drags, and you're in.
Yes.
And it'll help with pain. It'll take pain away. But when you take edibles, oil, dabs, a little bit more recreational because that's very, very high THC.
Okay.
So when you take the edibles, it can take anything from 20 to 25 minutes to 3 hours to kick in.
Okay.
So yes, if you're using it for sleep, that's great. Take an hour and a half before you go to bed. But make sure you're getting the correct dosages.
Okay.
Yeah. And dabbing, these cannabis concentrates are, it's more on the recreational side. Yes, you will get a bit of medicinal out of it,
Yes.
but it's more on the recreational side.
Okay. Now you've mentioned recreational and CBD and THCs and everything. Okay. Now we hear about all these CBD oils that's being used to treat people with cancer or with any medical condition. Okay. But then there's also a school of thought that says if there's no THCs, then there's really no benefit. Can you just clear that up for me as well?
I'm a firm believer, and I think 98% of the cannabis community has got the exact same thoughts. That plant grows for a reason.
Yes.
The whole plant.
Yes.
So you use whole plant material.
Uh-huh.
Right. And that's got all your cannabinoids, it's got your THC, your CBDs, CBCs, CBGs, THCVs, it's got all of that. There's a whole list of them. There's loads of cannabinoids and your terpenes, yes. But I believe in full plant material. Yes, sorry, if it's activated, it's going to get you high. Wow, have a laugh. Get the banshees, live a little.
Absolutely.
But this whole thing now with Big Pharma trying to take it, and they've got I think it's Drabanol or something, it's killed how many people overseas? You can't take just one thing out of that plant and use it.
Yes.
There's a reason the entire plant grows. And another interesting fact, sorry, there's so much to think about, Jada. So I'm trying to get... What I encourage people to do is to grow their own plant, grow your own medicine. So by you touching that plant, and there's a lot of research on it at the moment, your DNA is going onto that plant. The plant will pick up what is wrong with you.
Amazing.
Yes, it is. And that's the research that's coming out at the moment. So you're going to go out there, you're going to talk to your plant, you're going to touch your plant, you're going to give it the correct intent.
Yes, give it some tender loving care.
That's it, yes. And that's what you're going to get out. That plant will look after you.
That is
basically,
amazing.
yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
It's absolutely awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's all about intent. I mean, if you're going to chuck a plant in a cannabis thing in the soil and just expect the thing to grow and you're going to get medicine out of it, no. It doesn't work that way.
Yes. It's got to be give and take.
Yes,
like
it is.
all other relationships.
As they say, it's a weed and it just grows anywhere and grows wild. Yes, it does. But if you want the full potential out of it, you've got to look after it. It's like anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is. Full plant material, I know CBD is legalized now. Yes, I'm not a firm believer in just CBD.
Yeah.
Most of the research that's going around, you need THC to bind correctly on your receptors.
Okay.
For the CBD to bind correctly or fully bind onto the receptors. Yes, it will bind onto the receptor, but THC is there. There's a reason THC is in the plant.
Absolutely. Yes.
And our CBD would generally come from sort of your hemp plant. The current law at the moment is your CBD, you're allowed a 20 milligram dosage a day, so nothing can be more than 20 milligrams.
Okay.
And I might be wrong on this, 0.003% THC is the maximum, or 0.001, something like
which is
that.
basically
I know,
non-existent.
stupid, yeah. What's the point?
Yes, indeed. What is the point?
Yeah. But, whole plant, all the way.
Can we just stop right there?
You tired, bud?
Okay, so Dave, we spoke a little bit about the whole plant use and all of that, but just tell me in terms of using cannabis versus alcohol. So we mentioned that you could go home and have a glass of wine to relax and de-stress.
Yes.
But what is the difference, if any?
Look, at the end of the day, responsible adult use, which is like it with anything.
Exactly.
But it's interesting you talk about the cannabis versus alcohol, and my wife and I do a few markets at some of the functions, and we recently did. Now we normally do sort of cannabis events.
Okay.
Which is great. You have a wonderful day. Everyone smokes, gets goofed, has a good laugh. But we did the Deep Roots, the night market in Pretoria. I did it with my wife the one night, and I just decided, wow. Obviously, we've got the company that says, I Love Dagga, so you've got everyone running up to you, sell joints. No, we don't. We do clothing. We do the pipes, we do the smoking. Oh, no, yeah. And then the guys go off and they get drunk. And there's fights. Man, it's terrible. There's fights. There's people vomiting everywhere.
Oh.
There's people falling all over the place. And you don't get that with cannabis. Because, yes, at a cannabis event, you'll be able to purchase alcohol, but you'll find, like me, I drink.
Yes.
But it's a few beers, 4 or 5 beers throughout the whole day. It's not naked and get drunk.
Yes.
Because I prefer the cannabis. And interestingly enough, we were at the D-Day last year, the ones that the Jules and Myrtle the Dagga couple organised, and it was at a different a police area. It was in, where was it? It was in Randburg. Was it in Randburg? I think so, always something. Anyway, short-term memory, sorry guys. But we actually had, there were loads and loads of police walking around, and I mean, they had almost like an army of police there, like, sure, what we're going to do, burn tyres and throw cars upside down? No. And we actually, at the end of the night, a lady captain came around and a constable with her. And we said to them, what did you think of what we do? And she said, I'm absolutely amazed. I cannot believe this. we as the police were so bored today.
Oh, fantastic.
Because there was no fighting,
Yes.
there was no theft, there was just everyone of all walks of life, all colours, just chilling with each other, having a great time. And the cops actually said to us, thank you so much for having this in our precinct, because now we know what cannabis is about.
Yes.
Obviously had a long discussion with them and explained the medical benefits and eventually ended up giving them a joint each when they when they left, and it's absolutely amazing once you explain to them, because obviously police have been told, it's bad, it's illegal,
Yes.
but having said that, there's more than half the police force use cannabis. But yeah, and it's amazing just to be able to educate people, and you want people to see what we like. We're not just these hippies with long hair and do nothing, and
Yes.
we actually functional people.
Precisely. And good citizens.
I mean, I've said to you, I'm a national sales manager. I've been smoking cannabis every single day of my life, probably a bit more than most cannabis users do. But I'm not done. I don't have schizophrenia.
Absolutely.
I'm a fully functional stoner, if you want to put it that way.
Yes.
I can smoke in the morning before work. Not a problem. As long as it's a sativa.
Yes.
Obviously, I don't get the red eyes anymore and that because I'm so used to it. But
Yes.
also, you'd have a vape pen with a bit of cannabis in, and if you're having a really stressful day, 1 or 2 drags out of the vape pen, your anxiety's gone.
Absolutely.
And you go, you carry on, and it's absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
That's
Now you also touch on something here now, your different strains. Okay, because people like me think, oh well, cannabis is cannabis.
Okay.
But there's obviously different types of strains that will do different types of things for you.
Yes, there are. Look, and like I said to you before, everyone is different when it comes to cannabis. Say we have, for argument, a brie cheese. Just think of a brie cheese. Lovely smoke. Oh, absolutely awesome. But I might have a different effect to what you're going to get.
Okay.
So my high will be slightly different to yours. And every person's body is different. With having said that, on the use of cannabis, I'm going to come back to a bit of the medical and what you can do. And
Yes.
so I advocate to people, I say, I don't give out seeds. I know it's illegal, you're not supposed to because it's dealing apparently, but there's a bit of a loophole in the law because the seed physically doesn't contain THC.
Okay.
Remember that, guys?
Now, once again, I did not know that.
Yes. So it's not in plant form yet. It hasn't had a chance to form.
Okay.
The cannabinoids,
Yes.
etc., etc. But what I say to people is, like, I'll give them seeds. I'll give them 10 seeds and say, please grow your own cannabis. You eat the leaves. You put the leaves in your lettuce.
Yes.
Because, look, it's not activated. To get high with cannabis, it has to be activated. We call it decarboxylation. So it's got to be heated at a certain time. I'm not going to go into too much detail because otherwise I'll just ramble off and everyone's going to go, huh? But it's got to be heated. It's got to be heated to a certain temperature for a certain amount of time, especially with your medicine and with your edibles.
Yes.
But when you smoke it, you're burning it at a very high temperature, and it changes. THC starts off as THCA, which is a non-activated.
Yes.
So there's no high feeling with that.
Okay.
But once you heat it to that certain temperature for a certain period of time, it changes to THC, delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, and that's what makes you high.
Okay.
So that's why I encourage people and say, look, you don't want to get high, please. Grow a plant, pick leaves off, put it in your salad. Your kids can eat it. The medicinal benefits, you're getting the benefits from the plant.
Yes.
Same thing, if you don't want to smoke it or you don't want to take the medicine, grow your plant. When you've got beautiful buds, you eat a bit of the bud.
Okay.
Because you're getting the full benefit from the plants, but without the high feeling.
Yeah.
And that's I think, essentially what it's about, and just educating people and letting them know that it's not harmful.
Fantastic. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy is it to grow your own cannabis?
Look, on the level that we at, there's a lot of stuff that we do.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to grow cannabis. There's a reason they call it a weed. because it will grow. It's a very, very hardy plant, but obviously the more love, the more attention you give it.
Yes.
Don't overwater it, please. Yes. But that's essentially how you'll get a better plant. Obviously, genetics play a huge role in it. So stabilized genetics that you're using. Yes, and you were talking about the strains. There's so many. I can't even remember. The last time I even checked, it was like 480,000 different strains.
480,000.
Yes, different strains.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, no. Because what people are doing is, and I mean, like land races like our Durban poison. People sell Durban poison from Europe, but they came all those years ago and they took all our genetics.
Okay.
And since then, it's been, okay, I suppose not such a nice word, it's been bastardized.
Yes. So
Durban poison has been crossed with this and been crossed with that. And obviously you're getting cross-pollination from the people who don't know what male plants are. So sometimes you don't know what you're getting unless you're buying from a reputable seed bank, which a lot of people do nowadays.
Yes. Quite a fascinating world.
It is. No, there is so much to learn about cannabis. I wish I could spend every waking moment learning about it because there's just so much. But unfortunately, there's not time to do that. And obviously you learn as you go along.
Yes.
But
indeed,
be very careful of some websites that you read up on. Because people will automatically go to the internet and take the first thing that comes up.
Absolutely.
Now, a lot of those websites are influenced by Big Pharma, giving you the incorrect information.
Yes.
Yeah, so you go on, you get an app, Leafly, you can go on that, and you can check different strains. It has all the news, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
There's a lot of overseas medical websites. Off the top of my head, I can't think of all of them now.
Yes.
I've obviously done my research on certain things, ordered books from America on the benefits and everything. But there's just so much benefit to this plant and the right genetics. Yes, there are different strains that will help, and that's why I say an app like Leafly.
Yes.
You've got it'll give you the medical benefits. It'll give you the side effects. It'll tell you exactly what that specific strain will do.
Fantastic.
We actually reviewed one on DQ Central. I'm trying to think of the name of it, and I really cannot remember because we review so much.
Yes, you guys are pretty busy.
people throw weed at us all the time. Please review this. Okay, not a problem. They don't give it to us. They throw it, it's a helicopter or a car that drives past and throw something against your head, but
Awesome.
But we smoked this, and Quentin wears glasses. I don't. Luckily enough, I've always had 20/20 vision.
Yes. Lucky you.
Yeah, it's weird. My parents have both got glasses, but I don't understand it anyway. It's the cannabis.
Must be.
But one of the main things in there was eye pressure. And we smoked, we looked at this and we went, eye pressure. That's going to be excellent for a glaucoma patient.
Yes.
Because that's the problem with your eyes. You've got eye pressure.
Yes.
And it was absolutely amazing. Both Quentin and I, after we'd smoked that, it's a weird feeling. Your eyes feel so relaxed and
amazing.
Yeah, so there's all the different ones. You'll get specific ones for pain, for stress, for insomnia. Having said that, there's sort of two main types of plants. Your indica, which would have the fatter leaves, the broader leaves.
Yes.
And then you have your sativa, which are the very thin leaves. The sativas are more your land races.
Yes.
So those are the ones that would give you a very euphoric feeling. You lifted, you can operate.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You could smoke it during the day at work, and you just carry on, and you'd be great. And then you get indica, which is more your sort of nighttime smoke. That one when you smoke it, and you okay, it's a bedtime now. Yeah, we've made that mistake a couple of times before, but where you don't want to do anything. But having said that, also it's when you harvest your plants. So if you leave your plant too long, your trichomes start off clear on the plant. Those little, looks like a little bulb. It's a thing. It's got a little, and then that turns from clear to milky. And a lot of people that want that sort of, high euphoric effect would harvest when you've still got about 5 to 10% clear trichomes versus the completely cloudy.
Okay.
Well, the rest of it will be cloudy. Then what happens if you leave the plant longer than that? The trichomes turn an amber color.
Okay.
Now, even if you take a sativa plant and you leave it too long and it all goes amber, it's going to give you that couch lock feeling.
Okay.
Because that's the plant. And that's what I'm saying. When you said, is it easy to grow cannabis? Yes, it is, but do a little bit of research.
Yes, yes.
If you need help, ask. A lot of people know
I was
about
about
it.
to say, or find an expert.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yeah. I've still got a lot to learn. I'm not really an expert by any means, but yeah. So that's sort of how the plants.
Okay.
And then you get a ruderalis, but I won't go into that. That's just when the plant decides to.
We don't want to overcomplicate this because I've got another question for you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about concentrates, dabs, all of these different things. Just for our viewers out there.
Sure.
What are all these different things? What do you smoke? What do you eat? What do you dab?
You dabs. Dabs, shatter, butter, cheese, honeycomb. So a lot of it is you can do like a live rosin, which is a live press. It's a heated plate, and it's normally anything upwards from a 5 ton. And what you do is you put your bud in sort of a wax type paper, really good quality wax paper, and that just presses with heat.
Okay.
And it becomes almost like a liquid that comes out. And that's what you dab. You'd use in a dab rig.
Yes.
You also do it with butane. I think the most popular is butane. So you blow butane gas through your cannabis, your plant material, and you will get the gooey substance out at the bottom from the extraction equipment that you're using. Now, what's very important with that is you have to purge. So what a lot of these guys use a sort of a vacuum machine. When you put that dab in, then the vacuum goes on, the whole thing bubbles up like a mushroom. It's so brilliant. But what you're doing is you're getting all the butane out of it.
Okay.
A very good way to, if you guys dab and you want to check what your dab is, take the back of a teaspoon, put a bit of dab on the back of the teaspoon, and a lighter underneath it.
Okay.
I wish I had some bad dab here. I'd show you what it does. We've picked up a lot. So you actually light it. Yes, it will catch a light eventually, but if it starts, the butane is not out of it correctly, or alcohol. Some of the guys will do alcohol. There's CO2 extraction methods. So it's. I think CO2 would probably be my favorite. CO2 and butane.
Okay.
Yeah, because CO2 is pretty much there's nothing in it. There's no solvents. There's no.
Yeah, which at the end of the day is
contaminants, if it's the way to use, yes.
Absolutely.
And from I don't make concentrates myself because so many people give them to me. So just try this. And CO2 is my favourite, but a lot of ways of doing it. But if the guys are using incorrect butane, or if they're making medicine from isopropyl, denatured alcohol, you've got to be so careful what you're using, because you could end up poisoning somebody with a liver problem that takes an isopropyl alcohol. Oh, no.
So I guess that brings us back to the whole thing that you mentioned earlier is know your source.
Know your source, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Don't buy it on the street corner from an oak that's selling it at a bank and says it's good stuff. No. That's not what it's about. It's finding some, and I know it's difficult because it is still illegal. So you actually have to know somebody that's in the know to get the good stuff.
Absolutely.
But there's so many oaks that advertise. Just look on Facebook.
Oh yeah, it's rife at the moment. Yeah,
No,
everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
Yes, it is. Yeah, no, that's and a lot of, like I said to you earlier, a lot of it's about money, which it shouldn't be. It's about healing. Yeah. But that's
interesting. Very interesting. Well, Dave, thank you so much for chatting to me.
Oh, awesome! Thank you so much for your time.
Enlightening.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I love it. Just to be able to tell people about it, and just a bit of the basics. But
indeed,
geez, if you don't know anything, please ask. No question is stupid. People say, "Can I ask you a stupid question?" No, no question is. If you don't know, it's not. How can it be stupid? God.
Indeed. So, just for our viewers out there, if they need to ask that stupid question, how do they get hold of you?
Dave at ilovedagga.co.za or Dave at naturescure.co.za.
So easy enough, guys. Remember that. And if you don't, watch the program again. Thank you, Dave. It was awesome chatting to you.
Be awesome. Stay blessed, everyone. Stay safe. Stay lifted.